Hello everyone, and welcome back to the GT Improvement course. We are on part 2 of our practice test number 1. So this is going to be 33B. We're going to do questions 11 through 20 in this video. So again, the rules for doing this practice test is it is going to be timed. You're going to do 10 questions, give yourself 2 minutes per question, so you're going to have a total of 20 minutes to do this test. You can use your notes, but no calculators or Googling. Don't skip any questions, because on the AFCT you cannot go back. And remember, the goal is to answer all 10 questions, so be cognizant of how much time you're spending on each question. You want to make sure you have enough time to get to all the questions in the test. All right, so I am going to show you the questions, and just pause your video as you need, and then at the end we'll go through the answers. All right, here we go. Starting with number 11. Oops. All right, so let's go through your answers. All right, starting with number 11. Now remember, for these questions, there's usually more than one way to solve. So if you didn't solve it the same way as I did, no biggie. As long as you're getting the right answer, that's what's most important. And hopefully, the way that you're solving it, you want to make sure you're not spending too much time. So if you see a way that I'm doing it and maybe like, ooh, that took less time than what I did, maybe you could try that the next time you saw that type of problem. Okay, here we go. For number 11, the answer was Charlie. I used a proportion for this problem. You could have done it differently, but I said 3 apples is 48 cents. How many apples is going to be $3.84? Now the question is, how many dozen apples? So when we solve for x, which when we do our cross multiplication and our dividing, you end up getting 24 apples, which equates to 2 dozen. So your answer would be Charlie. All right, for number 12. Elapsed time problems. Everybody does these differently. Here's how I do them. I kind of do like a number line situation. I work in jumps, in nice easy jumps. So this question says, how much time is there between 8:30 a.m. today and 3:15 a.m. tomorrow? So I just chose Tuesday and Wednesday. So if it was Tuesday at 8:30 a.m., how much time between then and 3:15 a.m. the following day, which I just used Wednesday. So you can see I worked in jumps. To get from 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. that same day is 12 hours. To get from 8:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. is 4 hours. Remember, I'm just working up my way up to 3:15. From 12:30 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. is 2 hours. And then to get from 2:30 a.m. to 3:15 would be 45 minutes. So then all I do is I just add these numbers up. So I have 18 hours and 45 minutes. So I know it's got to be an 18 answer, but of course there's 3 of them. Now let's talk about how we can change this into a fraction. So 45 minutes, remember it's out of 60 because there's 60 minutes in an hour. So 45 minutes out of 60 would be 3/4. So your answer is delta. All right, here's number 13. I just did some multiplication and then some subtraction, so got bravo. For number 14, you should have gotten bravo as well. This is a percent of change problem, and remember, percent of change, how you find that is the change divided by the original. So we went from 350 to 380, so our change is 30. The original was 350, so 30 divided by 350. I canceled common zeros, and then when I did my long division, I ended up with 0.08, and I stopped right there because there was only one answer that started with 8. All right, 15, I used rate times time equals distance for this. You probably could have saw this pretty easily and just know, but that's fine. Answer was delta. Number 16, this one's tricky for a lot of people. So I just want to show you a couple ways you could have set it up. It says a barrel has a capacity of 100 gallons. How many gallons will it contain when it is 2/5 full? So I drew a picture, say, okay, well, here's my barrel, and in total, this barrel has a capacity of 100 gallons. And I'm trying to figure out how many gallons would be 2/5 full. So really what you're trying to figure out is what is 2/5 of 100? 2/5 of 100. And remember, of means multiply, so you would just do 2/5 times 100, which when you do your cross canceling, you end up with 40. But if you were to use your picture, so you have this barrel that's 100 gallons total. If you were to divide this barrel into fifths, see how I have separated into 5 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this whole thing is 100 gallons, that means that each fifth of this barrel would have to represent 20 gallons, because when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, each with 20 gallons, that gets you your whole of 100 gallons. So 1/5 is 20 gallons. That means that 2/5 is going to be 40, 20 and 20. Okay, moving on. 17. This was a percent of a number situation. So you had to do 20% of 20,000, which is 4,000. That represents the deduction that this person is getting. That sucks. And then they want the new net salary. So then you would just have to subtract 20,000 minus 4, which is 16. All right, for number 18, I used a proportion for this problem as well. It says if $2,000 is the cost of repairing 100 square yards of pavement, the cost of repairing 1 square yard is what? So they've given you 2 groups of something. In this case, it's money and square yards, and they've changed the number of square yards. So I set it up like a proportion. Some people just end up doing the division. Doesn't matter to me, again, how you do it, as long as you're getting the right answer. But when you solve this proportion, you have ended up with alpha. Okay, 19 was just basic division, 192 divided by 24, which is alpha. And then finally 20, you just had to add all those numbers together, and I stopped right at 520 because there was only one answer that had 520 at the end. All right, I hope you did well on the second part of this practice test. We've got 10 more questions to go. Remember, I've got this test plus 3 more practice tests that I'm planning on uploading. If you're not doing amazing, or if you find yourself struggling for time in these tests, remember, the more you do it, the better you get, and you're gonna start seeing the same types of problems over and over and over again. And remember, if you're not getting a question right, failure is the most powerful form of learning. So through those failures, you are learning, whether it feels good or not. Okay, see you in the next video, and we'll hit up these last 10 questions. Have a great day.